Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here today. My name is Denise. I'm also known as Hey Wig Sister on Instagram and Facebook. Today I'm here to bring you a wig review in partnership with Wig Studio 1. This is Belle Tress Tiger Sugar in the color Chocolate with Caramel. This is a brand new release and very different from any of the other Belle Tress long wigs that I've tried. So I'm really excited to tell you all about this. I also have had some challenges with it, and I will tell you what those challenges are as well. So if you want to know more about this one, it's nice and thick. It has beautiful, luxurious, curly waves. Then stick around and I will tell you everything, the good and the challenging. I would like to thank Wig Studio 1 for sending me Tiger Sugar so that I could check her out and review her for all of you guys. I partner with Wig Studio 1 every few months on wig reviews, and it's such a blessing to have the opportunity to try new styles. If you have not checked them out yet, please go to wigstudio1.com. They are an online retailer. They have a lot of support at their website. They have live free consultations. You can do video calls with them. You can talk with them on the phone. You can email them. They also have a extremely large Facebook group for support with wig wearing, and that's Wig Studio 1 Wig and Topper Support Group on Facebook. All right, everyone, let's talk about Tiger Sugar. I'm going to show you what she looks like from all sides, and then we will get into all the details. This is a very, very full head of hair. I have been loving Belle Tress long styles. I've reviewed quite a few of them lately, and I'm finding them to be so awesome for updos. But usually their long styles like this are a little bit lighter density and don't have a ton of permatease. This one is probably the heaviest density one that I've tried in a longer style by Belle Tress. It has a ton of hair, so much hair, and it does have permatease, sort of not up here, but it kind of starts right around here, and it goes up around in the back. Now, it's not super pillowy, poofy, or thick, so don't think that this is like a big pillowy, poofy head of hair, but it definitely has some, it gives it some body and some lift all around the sides here. And for the amount of hair that this has, I think it's kind of helpful, because otherwise it would just lay so heavy without some of that. So that can be helpful. But if you don't like permatease, if you get overwhelmed by hair very easily, this one might be overwhelming. It is a lot of hair, very full, very luxurious. And I think that as I play with it and I do this, I think you can really see that. Now, I want to get kind of the elephant out of the room right away and talk about some of the challenges that I've had with this piece. I do have an out of the box that I'm going to stick on the end of this video so you can see what challenges I faced and what I did with them. Really, the main challenge is the bangs. So this piece has it's hard to get to the bang because it's quite heavy. There's a lot of hair up here, but it has kind of wispy bang right here. And the problem I had with the bang was it had really bad box hair. It was plastered to the cap. It was not laying uniformly. It had pieces wanting to go this way, pieces wanting to go this way, and I struggled greatly to get this to lay in a way that looks decent. And I'm still struggling with it. So I took a hair dryer to it, and I took a hot airbrush to it, and I used water, and I'm still really struggling. It just, like, there's these pieces here that just want to fling. This wants to go over to the side. So I really am struggling with the bangs on this one. This is heat friendly, so you can take heat to this. And I do think if you work with it enough, if this happens to your piece, I really do think you'll be able to get it trained the way you want it. It's just not really working well out of the box, and it's taking just a little bit more work than typical. Bangs can be a challenge sometimes, so this is something that you may deal with if you want wigs with bangs. So I'm not knocking this piece. I think sometimes hair fibers can do funny things in the box, and so just being prepared to work with them is going to be really important. I would watch other videos on this style as well to see how other people, how their pieces are. Now TAZS has a review on this style, and she had some struggles with her bangs as well. She didn't take heat to them though. She was able to really get them to work by kind of doing this, waking them up, you know, all of that. Mine just had such bad cold setting or cold crimping. That was not working for me. So I really did have to take heat, and I would say I'm still not done. And like I said, there you go. You've got some wangers here. But that said, that's what's true of this piece that I have. That may not be true for your piece. And so I definitely wouldn't judge this wig negatively just based on the piece that I have. Just know that this can happen. It's not super uncommon, and just be prepared to deal with it. So the cap on this one, I'd kind of like to get to the cap pretty quickly because it is a bit unique and a little different. So this cap construction has what they call their half moon lace front. So basically it's this interestingly shaped lace front and a center mono part. I will be honest with you guys, the lace on this one is very stiff and shiny. It's very different than I'm used to, and you can really see how shiny the parting space is when I go like this, and I'll show that to you in a few minutes. I really think that this is going to need a little bit of powder or makeup put on the part to make it look realistic. I don't think a lot of people are going to notice it because people aren't looking at your part line super close. They're not getting close up. But I definitely think it's not as realistic as some of their other wigs. And so one of the ways to deal with that would be to put a little makeup on it. The other thing that I think is interesting, I turned it over and I shouldn't have done that yet, is how narrow this lace front is. So it's very narrow. It's not a thick lace front. Oftentimes with their monopart wigs, you get a lot more space here to kind of adjust that front hairline. This is very, very narrow. The lace does go over quite a ways, almost to the ear tabs, but it's very small and narrow. So the thing is though, this has bangs, so you don't really need a super detailed lace front because the bangs sort of cover that. But on my piece, because I'm having trouble with the bangs, what I can do is I can, you know, use heat and I can get them trained to the side, and then that lace front will show in that case. If you get a piece where the bangs lay like they're meant to lay, then the lace front's kind of, I don't know, irrelevant. So it really depends on how you style it, whether or not you really need that lace front or whether it matters at all. So let's try to take a look at that lace front right there. Now it's kind of densely knotted. I'm really having to part the hair for you to be able to see it. And because the hair is so dark, it's not super obvious. Like it doesn't glare out at you. So either you leave it the way it is, you can pluck that part line to bring it out a little bit more and then put a little makeup on it to make it look a lot more realistic. It's sort of up to you, but it's definitely not one of my favorites. I will just have to tell you guys that and be honest about it. I can't stress enough how full this wig is. So if you're looking for a piece that's very full, very luxurious, sort of like dream hair, this definitely has that. If you want to do updos with this one, so first of all, as I pull it all together, you can see how just thick and heavy that is. I think this one will be really beautiful with updos. I don't think it's going to be as easy to put into an updo as some of their lighter density pieces. It just has a lot more hair to contend with. But if you want something like wedding hair, something very luxurious, and you plan to do some fancy updos, this could be great for that because of these beautiful big, thick barrel curls. I think you can get some really interesting styles with this. So if you're looking for a wig that's going to be awesome for a very fancy event where you can really play up these curls and put some maybe blingy clips or bobby pins in, this could be a good one for that because it definitely has that potential. Let's talk about fit. So Belle Tress caps tend to run big. I say they're big head friendly. A lot of people say that. This one is no exception. It is running quite large. The ear tabs come way down on me, way down. It completely covers my bio hair, which is very rare. I would say if you are a petite, have petite measurements, this is going to be too big for you. I think the ear tabs are going to cover your ears. I have pretty small measurements over the top of my head, and it's barely clearing my ears. It also needs to be cinched in a little bit on me to be comfortable, and I have a 22-inch circumference, tons and tons of stretch. So I definitely think if your circumference and head measurements are on the larger side, I really think this will fit you. I do get a lot of extra cap up here as well. So it is running larger. I would say it's running more average large. Okay, I think I've covered it all. If you want to tuck, I think you can tuck. It's just very thick. Lots and lots of hair makes it a little bit more difficult to tuck because there's so much hair. But otherwise, I definitely think this has so many styling potential options. So that is a definite plus for this one. The fibers are just wonderful. I love Belle Tress heat-friendly fibers. They're soft, they're silky, they feel just like human hair. Really, it's just love, love, love the fibers. All right, let's talk about the color. Chocolate with caramel. I have reviewed this color before. It was my favorite brunette for a very long time. It is a beautiful medium brown with dark roots. So it definitely has a darker root, and it's got a lot of sort of caramely, auburnish blending to it. It is not heavily highlighted. It's fairly well blended. I mean, they take the caramel and the auburn and they've blended in. It definitely looks like you probably went to a salon, but it's not stripy or heavily highlighted. It is absolutely gorgeous. I would consider it a medium dark brown. That root is really dark, but they did a great job on it. It's not super obvious. This to me is like the perfect shade of milk chocolate. This is what this shade reminds me of. The perfect shade of milk chocolate. It does not pull heavy red at all. So but it does have red tones. I mean, it has that kind of caramel auburn tone, but it doesn't have bright red. I get asked a lot in the brunette colors, does it pull red? I think it definitely can pull some red, more of the caramel auburn as opposed to true red. But it's definitely a gorgeous milk chocolate color. Super warm, super flattering, medium to dark brown. Not so dark though that it feels like, you know, like it's heading towards black or anything like that. It's just gorgeous. Let's get outside so you can see this color outside. And if you're thinking about this wig, I really would recommend that you watch some other reviews, see how some other people describe it, especially these bangs. One thing I think might help the bangs is if you cut a little bit more into them. So they're very, very wispy. There's not a lot of bang here. And if you were to make it just a slightly heavier bang, I think that would help both with the styling, because one of my challenges with getting these to style is I have so much long hair right here. So I had to actually clip a lot of this hair back to try to get at the bangs, because there's just not a lot of them. And so I think if you were to cut a little bit more into them, I really think that would help a lot in getting them to tame and train where you want them. So if you're a bang wearer, consider that. I would not just immediately write this one off. Again, I've got some issues, but that's this piece. And I think there are things you can do. The fact that it's heat friendly really helps that a lot. All right, let's get outside. And then if you want to see kind of what I was dealing with these out of the box, that will be on the end. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to Wig Studio 1 for this opportunity. I'll talk to you guys soon. All right, everyone, it's kind of windy out here, but here is your look at this color outside. We're in the shade, so no glaring sunlight on this right now, but I'll walk over to the sun so you can see it in the sunlight. Let's do that now. You can come with me. All right, here is how this beautiful chocolatey brunette looks in the shade, or in the sun. It's really one of my favorites. For a medium dark brown, they've done such an excellent job. There's the rooting. Isn't it pretty? So if you're looking for a gorgeous kind of milk chocolate type brunette, Belle Tress chocolate with caramel is a good one. Thanks for watching, you guys.